like you've got the breakfast tacos, you've got the serious tacos where you sit down and I could talk about more of this as more people show up, but like I feel there's a time and a place, right? Like I can make my own tortillas. So like if I'm doing that, it's like a whole setup, and it's like that's like my serious taco. These are like cool, like you got home, it's been a long day at work, I've got some good beer, I want to hang out, I want my friends to come by, bring more beer, and I want to feed them. So that's where these come in.
I love that. Well, thank you all for joining us and helping us cook some party tacos with Laura's lean beef. So we will get started very shortly with the cooking. Just wanted to say a couple of things. First, hi, I'm Stephanie. I am your co-host for this evening with Jesse. We will be recording, so if you see that little red dot in the corner, smile pretty. And then keep the chat function clean. We will be using it throughout the evening. So if you want to ask any questions, feel free to ask them there. And let's get started. Hi, Jesse. How's it going?
It's going great over here. I had some audio difficulties earlier. That means my neighbor was playing his music very loud. So if at some point that happens again, I'm just gonna, I don't know, mouth things and just cook.
Yeah, that works for me.
Right?
Exactly. We can all lip read. It'll be good. We can close caption it.
That's perfect.
Awesome. So what do we got today? What do we got started?
So today we've got I was calling them my party tacos, and I'm going to stick to that. That's the hill that I'm dying on. These are my party tacos. You know, everybody likes to have a couple of cold beverages, and then afterwards they go and probably drop too much cash at the Taco Bell. So I'm like, how do I bring that party home? And it's with these tacos. So for this recipe, I'm using Laura's lean beef, which I love because Laura's lean beef, it's pretty lean. It's 92% lean, which is sometimes a little bit more lean for what I'm using it for. But what we're doing is we're backing it up with V&V Supremo Chorizo, which has a good amount of fat and it balances it out. And it's got great seasoning too.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm super excited because like we've got the Preferida taco seasoning as well, just to like spice it up. But altogether, this is going to be awesome.
Yeah. Whenever you're ready, I'm ready to start talking and start cooking.
Yeah. What do we want to start with? The chorizo?
Yeah. So I had my grill. I started my grill up about, I don't know, 45 minutes ago. There's two different kinds of the chorizo. The V&V, I picked the non-spicy. They're spicy and regular. I picked the regular just because I don't want to overwhelm people. I've got some Cholula that I'm going to add on top. So for those spiceaholics, I got you covered, man. It's all good. So I like obviously cooking on my grill. That's my thing. And my trusty Weber Genesis, which I have dubbed Grill Collins. It's a total nerdy music reference, and if you can get it, I'll give you a hug. I don't know, that you win something. Somebody should win something, right? So I've had this going for about 30, 45 minutes. It's at about 500 degrees. I'm gonna use my cast iron on the grill. So I put a little bit of, I use grapeseed oil on this. You want something that's able to take the heat. It's got a high smoke temp. So I use that. If you've got some veg oil at home, that works just as well. So what you want to do is start off with that and nice and season the cast iron. Laura's lean beef, being that it's very lean, you don't want to throw that onto the skillet just yet because that cooks about 3 times faster than regular beef. So keep that in mind when you're making this recipe. So I'm going to start off with my chorizo.
Julian, can you read me the license plate number? 8.
So I am currently unwrapping the chorizo. I like that they come in like packs of 2 and they're wrapped individually. So like you can use both in one day, then you've got it already prepackaged.
I'm always tempted. Like when I make breakfast tacos, I can't just have just one. I gotta keep on going and cook them all. It's terrible.
Hey, at least you're getting new use out of them.
Yes. So I've got my oil going. before we started filming, I had the cast iron in there just to get a little bit hot. I took it out, but it's getting back up to temp pretty nicely. I've got my first pack of chorizo in there. And, you know, I was talking about this before we started shooting, but with chorizo, it starts to crumble. So what you want to do is, what I do is, once I put the chorizo in the skillet, the cast iron, I'm not calling it skillet. Once you put it in there, like, smash it up and almost cover the whole bottom of it. And it'll make it easier to see what chorizo is cooked, because you want it to cook evenly.
Exactly. I don't know if you can hear the sizzle over here, but it's a great sound and smell. All this is
The
great.
smell is amazing. I'm afraid my neighbor's going to come over here and ask for free food. That's okay. That's how you get to know people, right? You feed them. And so, little known fact about me, born and raised Chicago kid. So one of the reasons I love using V&V Chorizo, it's because Chicago based. It was Chicago born and raised, just like me. Their plant is down in Pilsen, so I like supporting local brands.
Exactly. Yeah, I love that they're local, as well as the Preferida, which we'll use later, are both local.
Yes.
So, gotta support Chicago.
And you know what I love about shopping at Jewel is they have all these awesome local brands, and I grew up eating V&V, whether it was the queso, the Chihuahua cheese, or the chorizo. I mean, this was always my house. And then La Preferida, like the salsa that they use is amazing. I'm a big fan of their refried beans in a can. I almost made some, but I got a little lazy. So forgive me on that one. But if you get a chance at Jewel, they have the refried beans, and they're excellent.
Exactly. See, we're always looking for good side dishes for our party tacos.
So at this point, you could look down and in your cast iron, and you could see that some of the chorizo is starting to cook. So I added the other half of the chorizo packet, and I'm mix it in a little bit. Gonna give it about like 2.5, 3 minutes. So once it starts beating up a little bit, that tells you that it's cooking.
So are you consistently like moving it around, or do you let it sit at all?
I like to let it sit. I'm a very anti-griller, so I tell people to not do what I do and let it sit. I personally like to mess with it a little bit. You don't have to though. Maybe it's like a nervous tick. I don't know what it is, but I like to get that chorizo nice and like mixed in. So once you mix it in, just let it sit there. This, I guess, makes me look like a real, I don't know, like a real chef or something. Like, oh, look at me, I'm busy.
Yeah,
But really,
you're tricking everyone.
but you totally don't have to do that. So, how's your chorizo looking over there?
Looks like chorizo. It looks good. I brushed it up. I don't know what it's like. I don't know what cooked looks like, because it's all very like bright colored. So
yeah, so it's going to be bright, but how does the meat look? When you originally take it out of the package, it almost looks like a meat paste, right?
yes.
It should start breaking up. Once it starts cooking, it starts breaking up just like ground beef. So like when you add is it doing that?
Yeah, that's
Perfect.
what it looks like. Good.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you're getting like crumbles.
Yes, exactly.
That's great.
See, there we go. I always need the guidance, because I've never made any of these recipes, party tacos or otherwise. I'm not a big cook person, so this is always an experience. So thanks for joining me.
Yeah.
is anyone else cooking along with us? You can tell us in the comments, but we're super excited to have you if you're cooking, and if you're not, we're also super excited to have you.
Yeah, we had a question. They were asking, does it cook longer or for a shorter amount of time on the grill versus on the stovetop?
Being that grilling is my thing, I'm almost like obligated to use a grill. No, I'm just kidding. On the stovetop, you're getting that direct heat, so it heats the pan a little bit faster. So that's what I was saying before we started filming. I had the pan inside and I had it covered to get it up. But it's honestly like if you don't have to have a fancy gas grill. You can do this at home. The cast iron will get up to temp pretty easily on the stove. Did I answer that question, or did I just go around it? I hope I answered it.
We'll find out is the better answer, because we both put our chorizo on at the same time, so we can kind of judge off of that. But I feel like we're getting there. It's definitely like the nice crumbly, like ground beef texture.
So at this point too, I always have some salt next to my grill or next to the stove. So I'm gonna throw a little dash of salt. Salt is your friend, people. You want salt. So nice little pinch, almost like about, let's say like a teaspoon worth of salt. Maybe even half teaspoon.
I feel like with salt, you can kind of just like feel it out. I feel like you measure that with like your soles. That and garlic. Not tablespoons. There you go.
Yeah, I think I overuse salt, but you know, salt brings out all the different flavors, and if there's any kind of nuance in your dish, it brings it out too. And especially with chorizo, chorizo is already very well spiced, so you don't need a lot of salt, but you still need salt. And it's fun because like you throw that salt in there, and all these little like chiles that they use in the chorizo start coming out individually, which is really neat. So I'm at a point where, let me see if I can show you guys my chorizo without giving myself third-degree burns. This will be impressive if I.
Please don't. That would be great.
You know what? I'm gonna make it safe. All right, I'm gonna do this. How about that? Instead of trying to pick this up. So it's nice and crumbled. I'm gonna add the Laura's lean beef now. That's the chorizo is pretty close to being fully cooked. So now I'm gonna move it to a side and have the other side be my Laura's lean beef side.
And we've cooked with Laura's lean before, and like you said earlier, it cooks like in a third of the time just because of how it's made, and there's absolutely no added hormones or anything. So I love this brand, and last time I actually used the patties that were like already like pre-cooked because I don't like touching them. So it's always great that they come in packaging. You can kind of just dump it in. It's great.
Yeah, I've been cooking with Laura's lean beef all summer. Like my burgers, like in my head, I'm like, all right, if I do like a double patty of a Laura's lean beef burger, it's not as bad as if I'm using just other ground beef. But I shouldn't be eating so much, I guess. I don't know.
Hey, burgers are good, and it's summertime. You gotta utilize it. All right.
So getting my Laura's lean beef in there. Same thing with that. Just push it down, let it cook a little bit. You don't have to fuss with it too much. I'm a fusser, but do as I say, not as I do.
So we have a question. Someone that has never had chorizo before is asking, is it a similar texture to ground beef?
It's a very similar texture to ground beef. This chorizo that we're using is pork, so it's got a little bit more fat to it. So it's going to be a little bit more moist and a little bit softer, but it's crumbly just like ground beef that cooks.
Exactly. So what is chorizo? Like, what makes it different than other proteins?
It's just the spices. So chorizo, you know, like there's Mexican chorizo. This is a Mexican chorizo. You know, in Spain, they have like a green Mexican chorizo, or a green Mexican chorizo in Spain. That's not true. A Spanish chorizo, they have like a green chorizo. So it's just really different spices. And again, being that this is a Mexican pork chorizo, it's going to be very, very red, as y'all that are cooking along can see. But yeah, it's almost like when you go to the sausage shop, what's the difference between like an Italian sausage and anything else? It's really about the seasoning.
Exactly. And I feel like, at least I can smell it because mine isn't encased in a grill, but the flavor, like I'm already tasting it because it's not, the smell is so like strong and distinct, and it's awesome. Like, yeah, I'm very excited for these. Like, I don't know why we need to cook it. I could just eat it now.
Yeah. I mean, you could, or you could at least taste it, right?
Yeah, just a little chef's taste with like a little spoon, a little taste test. It'll be great. And then, was there any particular reason why we separated the Lorraine from the chorizo?
I'm sorry, one more time?
Was there any reason why we separated the Lorraine from the chorizo, or was it like a cooking thing?
It was just something that I do. If you put it on top of the chorizo, I wanted to give it as much surface area for the meat to cook on. And then you'll see, like in about a minute or two, we'll be able to start blending them both together. And now I do recommend that you go in there, if you just put the meat down and you kind of flatten it out, go in there and break it up a little bit.
Cool. That is exactly what I've been doing the whole time, so I'm glad that we're on the same page.
Just so we can cook the meat evenly.
Yes.
Because the bottom, obviously, that's making contact with the surface is going to cook faster, but you've got that top that needs to get in there as well.
Exactly. You preparing this wonderful meal today. You were telling us earlier that you had a specific drink.
Yes. So being that this is my party taco recipe, it needs to go with a beer, right? So I've been pairing food and beer for a long time, and I love doing it. There's a lot of local breweries, and I chose one in Chicago. It's Dry Hop. They're in Lakeview East. They make amazing beer, and they're very well known for their IPAs. So I chose a West Coast style IPA that's called Scooter Gang. And the story behind Scooter Gang was actually, so I bought a scooter and everybody's been making fun of me. And one of the brewers at Dry Hop, Steve, thought it'd be really funny to do a beer and in making fun of me, call it Scooter Gang, because I said I wanted to start a scooter gang. So that's why it's called that. But it's a traditional West Coast IPA. So it's very well balanced. Got nice piney notes, a little bit of bitterness. It's very dry too. So it's very, that's what a traditional West Coast IPA should taste like. And it's got slight malty sweetness because they add malt to balance the bitterness of the hops. So the reason that works with these party tacos is because the hoppiness bumps up the heat from the chorizo. So you'll see if you have an IPA with you, what I say is take a sip, take a bite, take a sip, and you'll see how the flavors kind of play with each other. And what I love about pairing food with beer is beer unlocks these flavors in food. So you're gonna get a little bit more heat when you're drinking an IPA. And on top of that, these tacos can be a little bit rich. That bitterness and the dryness in the beer cuts that. So it's nice and balanced. So you've got that heat, you've got the flavors, you've got that maltiness. It's, again, this is my non-professional opinion, what I recommend. So.
Awesome. Yeah, you were telling us about that earlier, and I was like, those are good pairings. And especially for anyone who's going to be putting the Cholula hot sauce on later, those like heat lovers, that's the perfect way to like unlock the heat, as you were saying. So I should probably invest in an IPA. Right now, I'm just sparkling water. So
that works too.
There we go. Yeah, it's a good pairing. It's blueberry. I don't know how that's gonna help. So far, so good. It tastes great.
So we've got my ground beef is starting to crumble up a little bit. I'm gonna start blending the chorizo with the ground beef.
All right.
And then right now is where I'm going to introduce a couple of the other ingredients. So I'm going to add my onions and my tomatoes to this, as well as my tomato sauce.
There we go. I did not think ahead and chop the onion, but so if I'm going to chop the onion, how small should we make it? Or is it like optional preference?
It's really preference for this, since there's already going to be enough kind of little fattiness. I would de-seed the tomato and just like have it be as dry as possible.
Gotcha.
And you ask for tomatoes, right? Or
Onions.
onions. Onions, wow. My onions, I just dice really, really small.
Awesome. All right, then I'll do that. I'll take it from the chef since I've not.
What a long answer for the wrong question, right? Sorry.
I'm sure someone at home wanted that answer for sure.
See, I knew that. That's why. That's why I answered that.
Yes, yeah. So if anyone at home was curious about the tomatoes, that's your answer. Awesome. So I've got a lot of liquid in mine. So before I add anything else, are we draining?
Yeah. I was just going to say, I cut my tomatoes so they won't give it too much more liquid. But if you have too much liquid, it's a good chance, or it's a good opportunity right now to drain some of that excess fat too.
Awesome.
So I'll do that with you guys.
I see a question, but I can't read all of it. It says, can we blend?
Yeah, they're asking, can we blend it with something else instead of ground beef if they were taking that out of the recipe?
What do you mean, like another kind of protein?
I think so. Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I like ground beef because it's more of a traditional ingredient for this. And, you know, the chorizo and beef play really well together, you know? So I'm sure you can do like shredded chicken if you want, but yeah, it's a beef taco. So that's why I use beef.
Exactly. And especially because, like, if you're trying to be a little on the healthier side, even though we're making tacos, Laura's lean beef is a great keep it healthy. So
it's 92% lean, and what we're doing right now is getting rid of that excess fat too. So if you're being health conscious, this is helping at least a little bit.
Yeah, every little bit counts. It's like instead of eating chocolate, you eat like Nutella. No, that's not a good example.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah. But little substitutions make a difference.
Yeah. So I added my tomatoes in there. I'm going to add my onions and my tomato sauce as well. This is smelling so good.
Yes. Yeah, I love it. I'm very excited. All right, so I'm putting some onion in. So
and before I forget, we've got our seasoning. Again, the chorizo, the V&V chorizo is seasoned, I feel, perfectly. So I got some taco seasoning from La Preferida that you can add. If you get one of the small 1 1/4 ounce packet, yeah, I would honestly use half of this. Even that might be a little bit much because we've already added salt and we've got the spices in the chorizo, but this gives it more of like a little bit flavor kick.
Exactly. And I've got the organic one. So I like the organic one because like it literally tells you all the ingredients on the back and I can read all of them. So that's exciting for me. There's no like random dextrose or anything. So La Preferida also has an organic line. So if you're with the lower clean, organic La Preferida as well is a great option.
And it's also on sale too. So
yes.
For all you budget conscious people, this is for you.
Yeah, I'm definitely like a coupon person, so this is always very exciting when I see something like 2 for $3, which I think that's what these are. I bought 2 because they were on sale, but I will also use them pretty frequently, so I'm very excited about it.
So I put my packet in there. I'm gonna throw in my tomato sauce as well. How you doing over there?
It's very loud. I don't know what the word is. It's sizzling very loud, which I think is a good thing.
And with all this, now that we've blended the meat together, obviously, and onions, tomato, same thing with the sauce. Just make sure everything is nice and evenly blended.
Yeah, you can't even tell the difference between like the chorizo and the ground beef because they're both the same like level of crumbly. The only difference is like the color is a little different, but I'm super excited. All right, please tell me we're close to making these tacos because I'm hungry.
We're almost there. I'm gonna wait with the high heat for like a little bit more, and then we're gonna reduce it down. I want it. Mine's still a little bit saucy, so if you're grilling at home and your mixture is still a little bit too thick and saucy, it's not a problem. It's all flavor. It's good, but you can keep it on higher heat for a little bit longer and let that reduce down a bit.
Ah, there we go. Yeah, I definitely like a little bit of sauce, so I can put the extra liquids in there. I didn't dump all.
Yeah.
It's all good stuff. Yay. Do we have any questions from the audience while we're stirring with some cooking?
Yeah, someone asked, what was the fat content of the chorizo? And do they have a chicken chorizo option?
I've never seen the chicken chorizo option. I've always seen the pork and the beef. And as far as the fat, let me see. I would be lying if I knew, so I'm gonna look at the packaging.
I'm reading 15 grams.
There you go.
For one of these. So 30 grams in total for the full package. But I only used one of the little chorizos. So, and I know that Jesse used both. So, like
I use both because I'm an animal and I've got people coming over after this to eat all this.
You got a plan. It's me, myself, and I. So, and my roommate. My roommate will eat this too. So that's good. I don't need as much full pan.
And then here's a question. I know that Steph, you mentioned that you had used the patties that were already like pre-formed before. Were there any other options from Laura's Lean?
Yeah, they had like a whole section for their ground beef. So they had like a smaller packet for like a personal. So like this is one option. This was 6 pounds, so 1 pound. They have this option, and then they have a smaller one if you aren't using a full 1 pound thing. They have a half pound, and then they also have the individual patties. So if you're like me and you don't like touching ground beef and ground other things, that's perfect. I can make a patty for you, and that works out really well. So they've got a ton of options, and yeah, it's a great section. So it should be in all your jewels. So definitely check it out next time you're there. Awesome.
And Jesse, they're asking, what were the beers that you would recommend for these tacos?
For this taco, I would recommend something that's a little bit more on the hoppy side. So you could either go with an IPA, which I chose a West Coast IPA, so it's a little bit higher in hops. But you know, if you want to choose a national brand because not all Jewels have the same, but I know most Jewels have a Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, and that's a really good beer to pair with this too, because it's got that nice balance of hops and malts, but it still has that hop character that helps us with the spice in the chorizo and eventually with the Cholula we're going to dump on top of our tacos.
Exactly. Awesome. Yeah, that's a great recommendation because I know that Sierra Nevada's in all of them. So that's always a good recommendation.
Totally. Yeah. So I covered my grill, let it reduce down a little bit. We could take it down to medium. Let it sit for a bit. We're going to top these tacos with lettuce. I've got some jalapeno too that we can add into the blend if you'd like, or you can use as a topping afterwards. I personally like to add with the rest of my meat while it's cooking. That's me. But again, add it now or add it as topping later.
There we go. Yeah, if you're more into the decorating aspect, I would do it later because I like to take my time with creating the tacos. So I would always put it on top afterwards so I can make it look all pretty.
You know, it's when I was making these two, the first time I made them, I had friends over and I had friends that were kind of yelling at me because I didn't have sour cream. I'm not a big sour cream guy, but they do go really great with sour cream on top. But I personally do not like sour cream, but trust me, they taste excellent with sour cream.
That's fair. Everyone's got their preferences. So you put tomato and onion in yours as well, right?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I just went for onion, and it's reducing quite nicely. So would you ever caramelize the onion before you put it in? Would you ever get like that fancy or no?
You could do that. Sometimes if you want more of a caramelization, you could actually add the onion right when you add the chorizo. So it all cooks together and it gives it that extra time on the pan and it's cooking with the spices of the chorizo or like with the ground beef. So yeah, if you want more of that caramelized onion, that's the best way to do it.
I like that tip. I'm do that next time because, like I said, I have a whole other chorizo waiting for me, so I'll have to make it again.
You have to report back and tell me if I'm crazy or if it worked. Both answers are correct.
There we go. You'll probably be correct. I feel like you're very good at what you do. So, I mean, this is your recipe, your party tacos. So,
My party tacos.
you
Party
gotta trust the
tacos.
process. I love that you were like, and party tacos and serious tacos. Like, that's serious tacos. Amazing. Incredible. We'll do this next.
I've got so many, that's the thing, like with tacos, there's just so many ways you can approach them. Like you could do very traditional, where the serious tacos fall into that category. This is, more of a like, it's like a fun taco, but I've done tacos with, where the filler is like Thai seasoned, Indian seasoning. I've done naan as a vessel for my Mexican seasoned protein. So it's a world of tacos and everybody's invited to be part of this world.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited to experience it this evening. So if you aren't cooking along, you should definitely consider doing this tomorrow or for Taco Tuesday next week. So it's a great recipe and we'll let you know how tasty it is once we get to assemble it all together.
Yeah, it's a super, what I love about this recipe, honestly, is when I was thinking about what I wanted to make, I wanted something that was very approachable, yet very flavorful. And I think this recipe really hits that, it really puts all those things together. And again, if it's like a long day on a Tuesday, you want to get home, this is the perfect recipe for that.
Exactly, yeah, and it's not too many ingredients. I mean, so far we've just used Laura's Lean, V&V Supremo's Chorizo, and like onion and La Pref. Like that's it. So
yeah,
very simple.
And it was like a 15-minute trip to Jewel. You pop in there, you've got everything's there for you, and at the end you'll see. Once we start tasting these, whew, exactly. I'm almost ready. I don't know how close you are, but I'm almost ready to start putting my tacos together.
Yeah, I think it's almost time to. I call it decorating. I know that it's like plating. It's all fun.
Yeah. So before we go any further, I want to talk about the Cholula that I got. I ended up getting the Chipotle. I obviously have love for spice. So on top of the jalapeno that we've gotten there and the chorizo and drinking the IPA with the hops that are going to boost up the spice, I thought I'd go the extra mile and do the Chipotle Cholula because it's got that smokiness. It plays with the smokiness that's already in the spices of the chorizo. So that was like an added bonus for myself finding this at Jewel.
I love that. Yeah, I have the original, but they have 5 flavors in total, so you might as well collect them all because they're also on sale. So I grabbed some Cholula. So there you go.
Yeah. I have a friend of mine, Sarah, who actually, when she goes and she eats out for like brunch, if she gets any little packets of Cholula, she puts them in her purse. So she always has pocket Cholula, which is hilarious.
Just emergency Cholula, just in case.
Just in case. Emergency hot sauce.
Amazing. I have like emergency chocolate. I feel like the hot sauce is much more efficient for restaurants. So
yeah.
She's got it. She's got it going. Awesome. But yeah, I think mine is done. So I'm gonna start assembling.
Cool. Let's do it. You always start with a base of your beef mixture or chorizo mixture.
And then you were telling us about your taco vessels earlier, how you wanted to bring it a Taco Bell type of vibe. So do you want to show us your taco?
Yeah. So this is a guilty pleasure, but I love Taco Bell after I've had a few beers. And I wanted to give everybody at home or myself that Taco Bell experience without having to pay all the licensing fees to Taco Bell. So I ended up getting these nacho cheese shells. So it's almost like Taco Bell's Doritos Locos tacos, which is, again, it's my favorite. Like when you add another flavor to taco shells, like it's genius, brilliant.
There's something that, can you wait a second, put it on my Snapchat, hold on.
What was that?
I don't know if that was a question.
Anyways, well, I just like to stand up because I know, I was telling you earlier, I don't know how I would like fill them if I didn't have the little stand up bottom part. So that just doesn't seem efficient. So definitely get the stand up.
Yeah, these are pretty cool. I'm excited to use these nacho cheese taco shells.
This is your first time trying them?
It is. A human should not be as excited as I am to try these, but no excuses, no regrets.
It's a worthy item to be excited about, especially when they're going to be holding party tacos. I'm so excited. All right. They're a little messy, but they'll be pretty later. And this takes like so many tacos. I don't know how many you're making, but it's a lot so far.
Yeah, I'm making a ton. I've got hungry people, so I've got to feed them, you know?
They're just waiting inside, looking out the window. They're like, those are my tacos.
I've got like shock collars on them. I'm like, if you make any noise, this is going off. It's not good.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Yeah, these flat bottom taco shells are perfect.
I know. I'm like living around. It's great. I highly recommend getting flat bottom tacos. I don't know if that's what they're called. The standing shells. There we go. All right. And then I'm going to be using a little bit of the V&V Supremo Chihuahua cheese. So I'm excited. I know they have one, the Chihuahua cheese with jalapeno. So I'm assuming that's what you've got going on.
Of course, spice all day.
You've got more spice coming. That's not it. There's always more.
You know, in the recipe that I shared, I told people to get like a sharp cheddar because if you're not a big spice person, getting that sharp cheddar, that flavor also seems to like tamper down the spice a little bit. But again, obviously, like I've got a problem with spice, so I need more of it. So I'm using the jalapeno Chihuahua.
Exactly.
So I've got a healthy dose of cheese on top of the ground beef. And then after that, I'm gonna add a little bit of lettuce.
Just a little.
Just a little.
Yeah, I definitely went for the shredded lettuce, so I didn't have to cut it myself. I was not feeling motivated.
Wow,
So,
we've got a lazy person over here. What's happening?
hey, I cooked fried on a pan, so that was very clear. I didn't go the extra mile to use a cast iron in a grill. What was the name of this grill again? Grill Collins?
What's that?
What was the name of this grill? Grill Collins? Yes?
This is Grill Collins.
Right, and then you have other ones, right?
My tripod right now is sitting on Grilly Eilish. It's the newest one. And I've got a red one.
Really?
The red one. It's I had to stay cool and hip with the times, and most people are like, "What does Grill Collins mean?" And so I'm like, "Okay, the other one's Grilly Eilish." And they're like, "Ah, I know what that is." So there, I had to balance old and new.
There you go. A little more modern, a little more updated. There you go. Awesome.
So adding my cilantro on here. Do you like cilantro? I'm a cilantro guy. I've got a good friend who I call them soapers, the ones that taste soap when they eat cilantro.
Yeah. I am not one of those people. It tastes.
Thank goodness.
But I do know people that taste it like soap, and I'm like, I would understand why you wouldn't want to eat it then. Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah. Unless you want to eat soap, and that's, who are we to judge?
Exactly. All right, I'm gonna pour some of my Cholula on. So, I guess you gotta shake it. I love the little wood caps. They're so cute.
Yeah.
They're just like a nice little ad. Yeah, we have a bigger one of these at the office, and it's just like a big decorational Cholula hot sauce, and it's like 2 feet tall.
Oh, the big ones? Yeah, those are so cool.
We just have it. It's great. I enjoy like seeing it over the cubicles. It's like the tallest thing in the office. It's awesome.
These look like, if whatever I do doesn't work out, I know I can go to Taco Bell and show them a picture of these tacos and be like, look, man, you need to hire me. Look how great this is.
There you go.
And I'll show them what I have.
Yeah, you've got a fallback plan just in case like ManBQue and Feast City are not doing it. All
Yeah,
right.
I mean, look at that.
I like the cilantro on top. That's very pretty. Yay. All right.
And again, if you want to add a little bit, like a dollop of sour cream, go right ahead. Just don't come to my house. Sorry. I'm laying down the law.
Here we go. All right, should we take a bite?
Yes.
All right, this is gonna be very loud and crunchy. So
Can we do a taco cheers?
a taco cheers. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers, everybody.
Oh goodness. Yep.
Yes.
That's the
Oh,
one.
that's so good. That's tasty. That's tasty. And these nacho taco shells, chef's kiss.
Yeah, I'm just eating this. I don't know about you guys, but this is the rest of the show. Just us eating. Enjoy. We do actually have one last thing that we do want to announce. What do we got, Jesse? I know I made you put down the tacos. I'm the worst.
So, being that I'm the grilling guy, I am excited to announce the winner of the Weber Grill.
Drum roll, please.
The winner is Liam Barani. Liam, you're watching. You, my friend, just won a grill.
Yay!
And you, my friend, owe us an invitation to come over so we can grill with you.
Yeah, so we can make these party tacos, or alternatively the serious tacos if that's what you're really feeling. Winner's choice. But congrats on winning the portable Weber grill with Laura's Lean accessories. So that comes with like a grill mitt, some tongs, an apron, like the whole shebang. Anything you can need, you got it. So congrats, Liam.
Yeah, and let me tell you, honestly, all of my tools for my grill are all Weber. They make outstanding products. They last forever too. So I think Weber should make their products not last so long so people could buy them more, but they don't listen. I'm gonna tweet out to them and maybe take my advice. I doubt it.
It's so durable.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, we actually we used the burger press last time. You're like, they make it too easy. They make it way too easy. So
yeah.
On winning Weber. So
yeah, Liam.
Partnership with Laura's Lean. So definitely check out Laura's Lean. And if you enjoyed today's recipe, that's the stuff. But thanks for joining us, everyone. Do we have any final questions, comments, or can I get back to eating these tacos? I'm going to take that silence as a yes, Stephanie, you can eat. So thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Jesse, for cooking and making this wonderful recipe.
Thank you.
Party tacos, hence why I'm trying to wrap this up. Thank you, Corey from Laura's Lean, for joining us. And congrats, Liam.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Congrats,
guys.
Liam.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Good job.
Thank you. Bye.